Hi guys, you're welcome back again to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you the step by step on how I recreated this sleeve. If this is your first time seeing my video, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for all your support. Please make sure you watch till the end and don't skip any part so that you won't miss any important information. And at the end of this video, if you find my tutorial helpful, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bell for more interesting videos. Okay, this is the sleeve that I cut out as a base to place my layers ruffle, and this is the pattern I made initially. I used it to cut my sleeve, so I marked these lines here to guide me on the amount of fabric I will cut out for my layer sleeve. So I will measure each round to know the amount that I will cut out. As this video progresses, I'll be explaining more on that. So the total length of the sleeve that I'm working with is 16 inches, and I want the layered ruffle to stop at 10 inches. That's why I mark it on my pattern to guide me on how to place the ruffle. The next thing I'll be doing now is to confirm her round sleeve. So I'll fold it into two. I'll divide her round sleeve by two. I'll add 1 inch for ease. Please add 1 inch because of the ruffle that we are placing on it. I will also divide her round elbow by two. I will add 1 inch for ease. So I will mark the sewing allowance that I added. I'll mark it. So I'll cut off the excess that I have here. After that, I'll be marking the sewing allowance on the other side. From the sewing allowance line I mark on this side, I will measure her round sleeve, which is 11 inches, plus the ease allowance I added. So you mark out the line for the sewing allowance because the ruffle will not get to the sewing allowance. So that's why I'm marking this line to know where I will stop my placement. So I will measure down where I want the ruffle to stop. I told you I wanted to stop at 10 inches. So before I cut out the ruffle, I will just measure what I have here. This is to guide me on the amount of fabric that will be enough. So after measuring it, you add extra 10 inches. So I was not having enough fabric, so I did not add any extra inches on mine. So when I measured the line I mark on my pattern, I got 42 inches. I added only 2 inches. I have 44 inches. So I'll be cutting 360 degrees flay. So because I'll be cutting 360 degrees flay, I'll divide the 44 by 6.28. When I divided it, I got 7 inches. The length of the layers is 4 inches. So I'll add the 7 inches to the 4 inches. I got 11 inches, so I'll multiply the 11 inches by 2. I have 22 inches, so I measured the 22 inches by width and the 22 inches by length. All this calculation is because I'm trying to manage my fabric because I don't have much fabric. You can go ahead and cut your normal 360 degrees flay. So I'll cut 2 for the 2 sleeve. I'll fold it into 2 and I will fold it again. So on this close folded edge, I'll mark the value I got when I divided 44 by 6.28, which is 7 inches. So I'll mark it round the way you see me doing. After that, from here, I'll mark the length of the cape, which is 4 inches. I'll also go round. Please, if you have enough fabric, use the length of 6 inches for your ruffle. I was not having enough fabric, that's why I used only 4 inches. So I will also cut the same thing for the other sleeve. I made use of 1.5 yards of doll face satin for mine. So if you are buying satin, buy 2.5 yards. No matter how big you are, 2.5 yards will be enough. I cut 2 flares for each sleeve because I will be using one as lining. You have to use the same fabric as your lining. So I'll go ahead and trim off the length of the ruffle. This is what I have when I was done. The next thing I'll be doing now is to slash it open. I will repeat the same thing on all the flares that I cut out. After that, I will spread it out this way and I will fold it to determine the midpoint because I want to use it to turn the hem of the flare. After notching the middle of the flare, I will place it together middle to middle. This is to make my work easier. So I will start from this side and sew. After sewing, I will turn it. I'm done sewing it. Can you see what I have? I'll open press and iron very well. After ironing it, you close the edge, you will turn it and iron it flat. After that, you run a stitch to close the flare and iron it properly. So this is the base. I finished ironing the ruffle. I told you initially that I want my ruffle to stop at 10 inches, but because my cape is 3 inches in length, I will come up by 7 inches, so that if I place it on that 7 inches, it will get to the 10 inches. So I will place it on the 7 inches. Just watch carefully what I'm doing, you get it right. If you place it, you stitch. I will turn it again. Arrange it properly and make sure your ruffle doesn't pass the line you mark for your sewing allowance. I will also stitch it down here. I'll stitch on top of this one. That's how I will stitch it till I exhaust all the ruffle. Can you see what I have? So I will go to my sewing machine now and stitch it down. I'll come back and show you what I have. Okay, in case your own did not cover your sleeve here, you cut another small piece of flare and you fold it in this way and you top stitch on it just to fill in the space you have there. This is what I have when I was done attaching my own. As you can see, I left ½ inch on top that I'll be using to join it on the main bodice. So I will use the lining I cut and turn the down part and the two side and turn it out. So I'll be using this pattern to explain how I cut the neckline. So I measured 6 inches for the neck width and 5.5 inches for the neck depth. I did the same thing for the front part. This is like a canoe neck, so you cut it in form of a canoe neck. The front and back neck width and neck depth is the same thing. I'll fold the back zipper allowance inside, just place the two together and cut it out. So this is what I have when I was done joining my princess that bustier. I did not turn the neckline with the lining. As you can see, it's rough. I will start measuring from one side of the zipper for one cape. I will stop at the middle and I will follow the other zipper side and measure. So I use the width I got when I measured the round neckline to cut out another flare. The length is 5 inches. If you have enough fabric, make it 7 inches. I cut 2 cape for the main fabric and 2 cape for the satin. So from the middle of the sleeve, I'll curve it out this way to give it that pointy edge. So I will be sewing with ½ inch and I will be left with 2 inches in between. So I will also do the same thing for this satin fabric. So I'll go ahead now and cut it out. After cutting it out, I will slash it open. So if you sew with ½ inch on this side and ½ inch on this side, you left with 2 inches in between. So that's what you have. You also repeat the same thing on the one for your satin. After that, you slash it open. So this is what I have. You turn the flare the same way you did when you were sewing the ruffle for the sleeve. So after that, you stitch the two of them together. I was not having enough fabric, so I used my main fabric to turn the satin as the lining. I'm just using it for the tutorial purposes. I will buy another satin fabric to complete the length. So I'll fold the main fabric into two the way you see me doing, just to determine the middle point. So after that, I will now place it this way. From the wrong side, I will stitch. After stitching it, I will top stitch on it and turn it to the right side. Can you see? So I will repeat the same thing for the other side of the neckline. So I have attached it. Can you see what I have? My satin was not enough to achieve the exact fullness on the thumbnail. When you're making yours, please follow all my instructions. You'll get it right. Can you see what I have? I sew from the wrong side. So the wrong side is very neat now. So this is what I have. Can you see? And for the zipper, you will use it to cover it this way and you tack it. Can you see the neat finishing at the back part? If you find my tutorial helpful, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you get notified once I upload a new video. So you go ahead and iron your cape very well. Thanks for watching. Bye.